That's awesome.
All right.
Wow.
We are here live on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube. We are going to be having a fun conversation today with my special guest. I love calling him a special guest. I can't help myself, Joe. I love calling you a special guest. Joe Wilson of Social Coach.
What's up, Bobby, and everybody joining today? What's up, everyone? How's it going today?
Dude, we're going to be talking about AI because AI is becoming more human than human. So we are going to be diving in deep. How's that for a dad joke? Is that a good dad joke, playing Rob Zombie as I do this stuff? No? Yes? What do you
Rob
think?
Zombie and dad jokes. I mean, I think they go hand in hand, right?
So anybody just joining in, Joe Wilson and I are two dads. So we have nothing but dad jokes for us. I'm sorry. That's just the way it works. We do our best to try to avoid all that. But here we are. I know we have a few listeners who are joining in and they want to get right into this thing that we're going to be discussing today. Joe, before we dive into it, I mean, we've been going kind of crazy with ChatGPT.
Dude, I'm literally obsessed with this business tool beyond belief. I literally spend hours every day on this. And if it's not playing around with it, I'm watching YouTube and TikTok videos on how to get better to utilize it.
Yeah.
And so I'm so pumped to be able to share some of these learnings with our friends in the mortgage industry, because I think we're a little behind on this.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I mean, the industry is always a little behind, it feels like. It always feels like we are a couple of steps behind, but at the end of the day, Dorian from Spain, welcome. Welcome to the podcast.
Buenos dias, senor.
Ooh, look at Joe. Glad you're on the show. I couldn't pull that out that quickly. Maybe that's why I need an AI in Spanish next. That's my next thing. Who knows?
Hey, I wonder if we could do that. Probably.
So listen, I want to tackle a few things before we dive into this. First and foremost, I got asked over the weekend, Joe, and maybe you can give me a better answer than what I gave, right? But they said, is ChatGPT going to make human beings a lot more stupid, for better lack of word, right? That's what they said, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I had a response. What do you think, Joe? I mean, does this take away our intelligence? Does this take away our creativity? Where does this put us at?
It depends on who you are and how you use it. And I think our grandparents probably said the same thing about the advent of the internet and Google, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I think many years ago, we were just thinking creatively and trying to figure out, you had a question at the dinner table. Oh, how many moons can fit between us and the sun? Or now I can just Google that for my 8-year-old. But before, I'd have to just think about it and think logically about it. So I do think there is an element of, hey, if we just give in to the immediate, carnal desire for a quick answer, yes. But you're not going to, if you really use this right, it can be a source of creativity. It can be a source of new business ideas. And so there's so much that we can do to improve our business, to be more creative, to create more content. But if used improperly, it doesn't work. And we'll get into that.
Okay.
Because honestly, there is an easy button here, and that easy button doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you look like an idiot. So don't use the easy button. We're going to train you not to use the easy button, but we're going to still make it easy.
Yeah. I mean, and look, I mean, guys, to me, it's always technology is as good as the person using it. So let's make sure we identify that fact.
Yeah.
And we're going to be discussing how to use ChatGPT properly, so that you do get the responses you want and the answers you want to do better content creation on social media and other areas of your life. This is an amazing tool. I swear to God, I have not been this excited about a new technology since literally the internet.
Yeah,
you know
seriously. It's like AOL days.
Yeah, I keep thinking about how AOL was like that phone ring and that sound. And we were so excited, like we could actually just log on, and everybody shared one computer. And where we are today, like 20 years or 30 years later. So where does AI go from here? So you don't want to miss the boat. You don't want to sit on the sidelines and let other people use ChatGPT or other AI functions and hope that you can catch up later on. So with that all out of the way, I want to make sure that we kind of address that because I know there is concerns about it. By the way, I want to say hi to Vancouver. I saw Holly from Vancouver here. So
What's up,
thank
Holly?
you so much for coming on board here. And so, Joe, I know you put together a really cool presentation for us. Let's dive into it because we do have a limited amount of time and there is a bit of information. And just, by the way, anybody who's on the show right now, this is going to be broken up into 2 segments. So we've decided because of how much, just the positive vibes that we receive from the audience. So there will be another show coming on board momentarily where we're going to dive more into the engagement of the content that you create. Today, we're going to focus more on creating the content.
Yep.
So, Joe, with that being said, let's dive into your presentation, brother.
All right, dude. Well, let's get this presented then. Let's see. I think you gotta do this.
All right, I got it, man.
How's that? Oh, perfect.
Dominic from New York, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, hello from North Carolina too. Awesome. All right. Well, look, this literally, guys, I believe is the future of mortgage marketing and mortgage sales. It's this AI revolution. And so what we're going to do today, and this is what we're going to talk about, let's just set the stage. We're going to show you a framework for how to use ChatGPT. Like, we're going to give you very specific things. And it's funny because I literally asked ChatGPT to help write some ideas that we could use for you or to provide to you. Like, what can you do, ChatGPT? And a lot of it was like APIs and chatbots. I'm like, no. We have to make this very specific and very tactical use for mortgage professionals, whether you're in marketing or sales or whatever, that you can use today in your business. So you're going to walk away with things that are actually going to help you that you can implement today. And along the way, you're also going to get a new obsession. And I'm sorry, not sorry for that, because I hope that you enjoy it as much as possible.
Joe, real quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you go back to the last slide, but you said that this is like an everyday business tool. I mean, walk into that for a second, will you? I mean, like, you can use this ChatGPT every day.
I literally do use it every single day of my life. And I use it because I'm creating content every day of my life, but I'm also doing sales activities.
Right.
Having it help me write emails. And we'll get into what specifically you can do here. But literally, if you think about all the tasks that you do, all the content creation, whether that's writing a guide or a help FAQ or coming up with ideas for content creation, you can use this for literally anything, and you can do it every day. You don't have to. That's just me and my business.
No. I want to make sure that the audience understands that this is an everyday tool. It's not just when you want to create something. It's like literally, this is like your new microwave. You heat up something every day, ChatGPT is going to cook up something for you to put on social media every day.
That's right. And to your earlier point here too, Fob, like, this is not going to replace you as a loan officer, but you have to learn how to tame it and use it properly so that it will give you the results that you can get above and beyond every other mortgage professional who's using it basically or not using it at all. In fact, it was funny. I saw a comment from a gentleman in our industry that was like saying how stupid this was and that he'll never come to this because it's just dumb and won't ever replace humans. And I'm like, it's not. And I didn't respond to it that form because you don't need to respond negatively to negativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think there are people who are afraid of this, and the normal human reaction to fear is to run away or fight, right? And this is not anything we need to be fearful of. This is something that we need to learn to use. That's free. That can help us become better than we are today.
So let's ask the audience, if you guys are still logged on, tell us if you are afraid and why, and we'll respond to it. But I do want to see the fears. If you can text some of your fears, I would love to see those in the comments. Joe, I don't know what happened to your video there, but
it's gone.
I think this is the thing with live broadcasting, right?
What happened? We're back.
All right. Joe Wilson is the man and he's back. I love that, Brian. All right. Let's dive into it, Joe.
All right, cool. Well, the first thing that everybody needs to know is literally how to even access it. Like, where is it? Like, what is it? So plug this into your browser, chat.openai.com. It'll ask you to log in. Just say log in, and you actually have to sign up if you're not signed up already. But it'll interface with your Google, so you can just sign up via Google. I do have the paid version of this. It's $20 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you are going to use this every day or use it during your business hours, you might want to consider paying for it, because I found that before I did pay for it, that I was never actually able to get on because it was always too busy, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we go. And then it basically, you just enter chat prompts.
Do you think that $20 is I mean, like a teaser rate, like they'll slowly start raising the premium on us as we get more and more like used to it, or whatever?
I mean, I feel like $20 actually was a little steep, to be honest with you, for access.
Okay.
For something that's free. It's basically you're paying for guaranteed access to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, and honestly, guys, this tool, OpenAI's ChatGPT, is the fastest growing user base of any technology of all time.
Wow.
It got more adoption than Google, than Facebook, than TikTok. Those all went super, super fast, really quick. This one, it got to 100 million users in less than 3 months.
And I think it's really important to say also that ChatGPT is not connected to the internet at this time. It was disconnected mid 2021.
Yeah.
So that's an important fact, and we're going to dive into that later on with some of the slides I saw with Jill made. But as kind of giving you the guys the background of what's going on with ChatGPT, it has been disconnected from the internet since 2021.
Yeah, sometime in 2021. It doesn't say exactly when, or maybe I don't know, but it says the knowledge that it has and it was trained on is through 2021. So 22, 23, it doesn't have. So when you're asking for stats or trends, things like that, just know that you're a year and a half to 2 years behind. So it's at capacity right now. The server can't go. That's Candy, thank you. That's why I paid $20 a month to get this use, which honestly, I feel like is super worth it.
No, I love it. I think $20 is a fair price. I mean, I use it throughout the day. You know what I mean? So we keep saying use it, use it, use it. So Joe, I see these beautiful squares in front of my face. You know what I mean? What you can use ChatGPT for.
Well, yeah, these are a couple ideas, right?
Yeah, let's go into it.
Entrepreneurs or mortgage professionals can use it for, right? So we can create social media posts. We can come up with ideas, do planning, create an FAQ document for your borrowers, write email marketing, tons of ideas. We're going to jump into these all specifically. An SEO strategy. I mean, we're going to go into this. It's like mind-boggling, all these things that you can do. Let's pull the Stuart Leibowitz comment up here, because I think this is also important. The concern the output is authentic to my voice, the content is original to my prompts. So Stuart, this is such a good question, dude. And we'll get into this in a little more detail. But one thing that I've done is, and what you can do is, it's also a learning mechanism here. So, and the first response that you get when you say, hey, create a social media plan for me, is going to come up with the most basic plan ever. And it's not going to be good for you. But what you can do is then say, hey, act as a social media expert and ask me questions to help build a social media plan for me. And by the way, my name is Stuart Leibowitz. I'm a mortgage loan officer in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I don't know where you're at, Stuart, but and these are the things I specialize in, and tell it about yourself. And then, and here's the important thing too, is copy and paste like the captions from your last 10 LinkedIn posts.
Yeah.
And have it learn your writing style, your tone of voice. And then say, when you do create those prompts, and we'll get into this again, but say, use the tone of voice of Stuart Leibowitz.
But I'll say also this is, you don't need to do all that. If like, sometimes it does feel like it's infringing on my personality. So if you want to draw boundaries between AI and your personality, you don't need to do that. It's good enough to say, hey, I'm a loan officer in Idaho Falls, and I wanted some ideas on what I can do to engage my realtor base on social media. And you can be specific on the platform. You can say Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, and it will do that. Yeah. So there is that fine line. And Joe, I want to get back to these 6 blocks here. and just let's dive into the first slide.
Let's go to social media. All right.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you can do with ChatGPT? So you could have it write video scripts. Ask it to write, say, hey, come up with 10 different unique ideas for mortgage loan officers to post on Instagram. And the more specific you get with your prompt request, the better the results are going to be. And honestly, again, and you might have to go through and say, hey, try this again, but add in X, Y, and Z, right? So going through and don't accept the first answer as what you're going to use. But I've had it write video scripts, say write a 30-second video script on a certain topic. And it will literally tell you like how to set the scene. Like camera pans into Joe Wilson sitting behind a laptop on his desk in his podcast recording studio, and then says the following things. And then it will give you B-roll ideas for what to put in there too. So like it can do amazing things for you if you ask for it. And it's incredible.
It is. It really is. And the other thing you can also do is you can give it tones that you want expressed in the videos or any kind of content. Yep. If you say, I want an angry buyer, I want to write a script about a buyer who's angry because his loan didn't close on time. Yep. It can pick up that tone and write you that script according to that emotion that you interjected in there.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Well, Fabi, you talk about this direct messaging one because we did this on a call with your group a couple of weeks ago. And I think that was a really interesting and fun use case.
Yeah. So, I mean, the text, I think text messaging, direct messaging is the same thing, right, Joe? Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
I mean, yes, but yeah, sure.
So you can use ideas, say, hey, I want to have 5 different ways I want to communicate with real estate agents. I haven't been able to get their engagement. So please make this engaging, but don't make me sound desperate.
That's what we said. And it worked, right?
It worked. I mean, the thing is, it comes out with a very nice, firm, engaging message to send to a real estate agent. Now, by the way, FYI, since I'm on the recruiting side, I did this with the recruit, right? Mm-hmm. And guess what happened? Within 90 minutes, the candidate was calling me back.
Wow.
I couldn't even believe it. But it was like I was like unsure how to write the right text message. So I used ChatGPT to write it for me. And then I used the tones that I wanted. And I put that in text and I sent it out and it worked. And that's awesome. What it's all about.
That's incredible, dude. I love that. Yeah. I mean, so you can use it for things like that, right?
Yeah.
In your normal daily activity. And this is why we said it's a daily use tool, right? And it can help you come up with ideas of what to say and get you started in that right direction. Put your own tone of voice in it and edit it to your liking. Read what it's writing. Read what it's putting out there and then put your own spin on it, right?
Yeah. And Joe, I think also when you were doing the group thing with us, you also mentioned, I think it's interesting because I actually went back and did something different, but I used your ideas. Yeah. So engaging with the real estate agent in their listing and telling ChatGPT, hey, there's a listing in this particular area. How should I engage the real estate agent and talk about their house? And ChatGPT actually guided me to like what we should talk about in the house and that kind of stuff.
Shut up. That's insane.
See what I'm talking about? So I took your thing of engaging with the realtor and I asked ChatGPT to use that. Like it was a split level house here in Fairfax County, Virginia, blah, you know what I mean? And so on and so on. And it literally took that and told me how I should be engaging with the real estate agent.
That's incredible, dude. How fun. See, like that's the thing. And the more specific with the prompt that you write, the more specific and better the results will be.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what is this influencer life? I mean, you have the influencer life. The rest of us don't have your life. How is ChatGPT helping you with your life as an influencer on TikTok and all those dance moves?
Well, first of all, I'm not an influencer. I'm just a lowly, software guy. But, honestly, though, it has helped me come up with ideas of what type of content to create. So I've actually had it write dozens and dozens of ideas for me to I put in what my goals are of what the content I want to create. I feed it information about my company, Social Coach. That's, I say, hey, we're a software company that helps mortgage professionals grow their business through social media and do it compliantly. Help me come up with ideas that what types of content can I create for this? Ask me questions about my business to help me come up with content that will have me seen as an influencer in the mortgage industry on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. and it comes up with those specific ideas based on the information I'm asking it to do.
So really, I mean, it goes back to what you and I were talking before the show about how you phrase the question.
Yeah.
So you're actually phrasing the questions to ask you the right questions.
Yeah. Have it ask you the questions, then respond to it, and then it'll come up with even better results for you.
Amazing. Amazing. I see Charlene McWilliams is asking a question of what the downside is. There she is. Hi, buddy. That's my buddy Charlene. I love her. Love her to pieces. So she's asking what are the downsides, and I think we'll cover that later on. But the downsides, I mean, obviously, look, we addressed this in the beginning, Charlene. If you use ChatGPT, and let's say I'm not an influencer and I'm not a Joe Wilson, right? And I want to pretend to be a Joe Wilson, obviously it's gonna think I'm Joe Wilson, but the minute somebody engages with me, they're gonna realize Joe is a lot cooler than I am. And so that's some of the downside, that if you want to pretend to be somebody, just like you can on social media, ChatGPT will absolutely help you with that. Ultimately, it has to be your personality, and you have to use it to the point that you're comfortable with. That's all. I think that's the best way to describe it, is our comfortability is going to dictate how we use ChatGPT.
Absolutely. And I think that it can be too stuffy and formal a lot of times. You have to get it to be in your voice still.
Yeah.
And people just copy and paste these long, drawn out responses, and it just shows up as fake right away.
Right.
Hey, Bob, we're getting a lot of questions about recording, and this is being recorded. It'll be on LinkedIn and Facebook forever. But I think we should put it on YouTube too, man.
Actually, this is being recorded automatically onto YouTube right now. Perfect. On the Laugh Letter Neat channel. So we'll make that available to everybody.
I love it. And we'll also have at the very end, guys, a link for you to enter your information, and you're going to get all the information we have on here and specific prompts that you can write to get really good results. All
right. So let's go on to the next slide, Joe, and let's move into this a little bit, because we're running
out of time.
I want to make sure we get through this stuff, because Joe did spend a lot of time putting this slide together, and I want to make sure we do that. So this FAQ is a questions Q&A, obviously, that you had ChatGPT write out for you. Is that accurate?
No. So what I did is I typed in hey, I'm a mortgage loan officer, and I want to create a FAQ guide for my potential borrowers, for first-time home buyers. All right. I got very specific. I said, what are some FAQs for first-time home buyers? And it came up with a list, and I said, all right, and I actually asked it to make it very short, so it would fit on the screen, because it came out with much more detailed information than this. But these are great things. These are great for several different ideas. You can come up with an FAQ guide that you can just maybe a PDF to send to first-time home buyers. You can create individual pieces of content, a little short form videos out of each one of these ideas. Put an infographic on this. Like, use this as the way to kind of just, again, see the information that you can then use in multiple different formats. But it gets you that content generation so much faster. If you were to sit and just simply think about all your FAQs and try to write them, it'll probably take you all day long, right? But if you just throw it in there and then give very specific examples of what you want, then it will come up with the responses that you're looking for.
So, Joe, did you ask the questions, or did GPT ask the questions?
No, I straight up just said, come up with a list of, I said 10. Come up with 10 questions and answers that are frequently asked by first-time home buyers who are looking to buy a house.
Perfect. So, to Nikki Brown, by the way, you could actually take these answers, Q&As, and put them on Grammarly to make sure that they're phrased properly.
Smart. There's also our tool called Quillbot, Quillbot, that will rephrase things, and you can make it, add synonyms and make it more human-like sounding. If you want to cheat doing it yourself, or have an AI bot make your first AI bot sound better, that's what a lot of people are doing these days.
Yeah. All right, that's good.
That's FAQs, dude. All right. Email marketing. Dan Smakoska was on earlier, and he was giving us some cheers. But and Dan's like the email marketing genius. If you don't know Dan, guys, he actually writes. And you should find him on LinkedIn. And he's got a newsletter that comes out weekly called Be Loangendary, which is hilarious. I love puns. But he's like this email marketing newsletter guy for the mortgage industry, and it's phenomenal. You get lots of good information on there. But I was using him as inspiration for this idea of different things that we can use, we as mortgage professionals can use to further your business, right? So, hey, rewriting your in-process emails. What email gets sent out automatically from your CRM at processing, at underwriting approval, at closing, at post-close? Use ChatGPT to come up with those email ideas for you and make them better. A lot of times those emails really, I'm just going to be frank, guys, they suck. They're like horrible. If you're just using the stuff right out of the box, like it's not great. So come up with a better idea and say, and honestly, here's a good idea too. Say, write these emails, but do it in 3 different tones of voice. And it will come up with 3 different versions of it, and you pick the one that you like.
Yeah.
It'll be more fun, be more direct, more professional, and find the thing that you like, and that tone of voice that you want to have there.
Absolutely. And quite honestly, I mean, once again, the tone of voice, especially in emails, Joe, because when we're reading text messages, when we're reading emails, it comes in the way whatever mood I'm in is how I'm going to read that email. Right?
Exactly.
So the more I can casual it down, the more I can make it less intimidating, especially company emails, right? Where somebody says, "Hey, Fob, blah, 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 blah," and if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to be very defensive when I read it. Yeah. So ChatGPT can literally write a tone of voice for you that is more inviting and more casual and less invasive. How's that?
Exactly, dude. And tell it to be that way.
Yeah.
You don't want the way to respond and say, "Hey, you did it wrong. Use this tone of voice instead." And it'll say it will apologize to you, which I think is kind of cute. But it's
Joe, I'm confused on the next one though. Database mining.
Yeah.
When I saw that on there, I know I didn't put this in our pre-production stuff that I was talking about. I wanted to kind of put you on the spot here. Yeah. How do you do database mining with ChatGPT?
All right. Well, as a mortgage professional, if you don't have this, I'm a suspect on your long-term goals of being a loan officer. But because every LO I know has a database of clients, right? You've got, and it might be in an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet or something like that. And you've got, data points on each one of your consumers. You can literally, there's two aspects of this database mining. If depending on the data you have on those consumers, like maybe addresses or the rate that they're in or whatever, you can literally feed it your entire database and say, come up with who I should talk to based on certain qualifications. And it will tell you exactly which borrowers you should be reaching out to. I mean, that's how powerful this tool is, guys. It can ingest lots of data and tell you what to do.
And the thing that got me with this, by the way, is how quickly it does it.
Yeah, it's insane.
You know what I mean? How quickly it does that. Felicia, I don't know if we'll have time to do an example. Well, if we have some time left over at the end, we'll definitely dive into it and do a screen share of how we can interact with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So, but we got to get through this real quick. So we'll try to get back to you, though, Felicia. Okay.
Yeah.
So database mining. Now you can also have it write the letters on how to stay in touch with your borrower, right?
All right. Now I want to write an email to all of my past clients, telling them about this new product and give it the specifics about the product, right? Or that's maybe just one example, right? So you can literally do any of that. And it will come up with an email. It'll tell you, you can have it write the subject line, have it write a cadence of emails. Say, hey, I want to write a 4-part email series talking about, literally anything, right? About the process of getting a home equity loan, right? Because everyone's home values are through the roof, and refinancing your first lien is probably not a great idea right now. But let's talk about home equity loans, right? And training them how to do that, warming them up for that. Come up, ask ChatGPT, write all 4 emails for you. Get a free MailChimp account and throw your contacts in there.
For those of us who don't know what MailChimp is, I mean that sounds like a weird name, man. What is MailChimp?
MailChimp's just a free email client.
Come on, man.
It's a free MailChimp.com. It's a free email tool.
Got it.
Yeah, or I probably should say this. Use your CRM that your company has provided. And if you don't have one, MailChimp's a great idea. Or HubSpot. I use HubSpot all the time. We do a lot of emails there. It's great.
Joe, let's move to newsletters, because you and I talked about this a little bit, and I want to make sure people really understand, because this is, to me, writing newsletters is amazing, right? To be able to get content that you just copy and literally paste and then send out a newsletter, right? That's basically what you're asking ChatGPT to do.
Yeah, dude. I say write a weekly or a monthly newsletter for me, and again, state who you are, what your goals and objectives are, who the readers are, and what topics that you want to have it write, or have it ask you questions about your business to come up with ideas for the newsletter. Right.
So going back to what I'm going to say this, Ahmed Kamal El Arabi said, to create some kind of topics where you can recruit, right?
Perfect.
I'm thinking on a newsletter, right, Ahmed, is you can literally take your topics now and ask ChatGPT to kind of make it so that it's recruiter friendly.
Yep.
So people receiving your newsletters, instead of just sending an email or a text, you're actually sending a newsletter to a possible candidate.
Yeah.
And in that context, you can actually have some kind of wording where you're talking about the benefits of joining your company.
Yep. Exactly.
Now, how do you format this thing? Because ChatGPT does not format newsletters, Joe. I know that for a fact.
It does.
I don't have MailChimp, but I know this part.
It does not. It does not format or send any of this. It is literally just an AI chatbot that will come up with the ideas of what to write.
So is there some kind of bot that will format a newsletter?
What's that?
Is there a bot that will format a newsletter, or do you just go to
I'm sure.
Word, or what
I'm sure there is, but I don't. I mean, I have it through HubSpot, but I'm sure, and whatever CRM you do have, most likely has a tool in there for you.
Yeah.
But a simple Google search for a free newsletter generator will probably help you out with that too.
Perfect. And
newsletters, by the way, that's another idea too. If you see somebody else's content that you like, feed it to it and say, "Hey, I want something like this," and it will mimic that idea and come up with something that is original and unique for you. And I saw somebody asking about like AI, like plagiarism and stuff like that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This is all plagiarism free, dude, because like this is your content that you're having a bot write. It's not plagiarizing anything. It's all original content.
Right. And the thing about newsletters, by the way, I mean, for me, the reason it stuck out is those are going out once a month, once a week, once a quarter, whatever. But you're staying in front of your candidates, your clients, your database on a regular basis through the help of ChatGPT now.
That's right.
And as loan officers, one of the greatest things that we do sometimes is we don't stay in constant contact with our borrowers.
That's right.
And they'll forget about us. And that's why, you got all these 500,000 CRMs out there. But creating your own newsletter, then creating your own content that is personal to you, rather than having the turkey surprise leftover recipe in December come out, right? And making it more unique and specific. I think ChatGPT can definitely help you with that.
That's right.
Joe, let's go to the next slide, brother.
All right. This one, it was something that
my favorite. This is favorite. This is good stuff.
All right. So I literally asked ChatGPT, I said, come up with a SEO strategy for me as a mortgage loan officer in San Clemente, California, which is where I live. I'm not a loan officer today, but I thought, hey, let's use this specifically, right? And it was, guys, honestly, it was incredible. It came up with like 5 pages of of work for me to do. And again, it's not going to do the work for you. It's also 1.5 to 2 years old in data. So take this with a grain of salt. But a lot of SEO strategies have not changed in the last 1.5 years. So, and I'm sure every SEO expert in the industry is like rolling their eyes at me by saying that. But like this was the idea, right? Like, hey, I'm a mortgage expert. Here's what you need to do: build local backlinks, find a local business directory, find local news websites, go on to social media, go on to community blogs, get your landing page or your Google My Business page or your website linked back to these different directories, because SEO is all about how much traffic is coming and where your website is being shown in multiple different areas. Have a landing page about San Clemente Mortgage. Like, it's not even specific about your business, but like do something that's more localized.
So the top half is what ChatGPT told you as a loan officer you should be doing step-by-step instructions.
All of it, Fabi.
Amazing.
On the bottom. It literally even came up with the ideas for, it said target long tail keywords such as, and came up with these ideas for me.
Right. Now, same as keywords are hashtags. You could actually have it do hashtags also, I found out, but they are 1.5 to 2 years old.
Yeah, I think
sense.
it is more valuable when you're looking at keywords for blog writing and SEO and things like that for your website
Mhm.
versus hashtags, because hashtags kind of change a little bit and they're becoming less relevant in social media today anyhow.
Okay.
But all of this is to say that, like, thinking broader about what ChatGPT can do for you and your business
Mhm.
is like, what are the different facets of the ways that you get your business, and allowing powerful AI tools to help you come up with a strategy and then also the execution of this. So, look, guys, for every single one of these things, I can then drill down and ask ChatGPT to give me more targeted long-term or long tail keywords. I can have it come up with the entire copy for this landing page, or come up with or show me local directories in San Clemente or South Orange County. Like, it can do all of those things, and it can help you then implement it from a standpoint of writing that content. You still needed to copy and paste it and push send, or build that website, or
Mhm.
pay somebody on Upwork or Fiverr to do it for you.
Right, right. I mean, the point being, guys, is to me, what Joe is showing up here is a SEO idea. But guess what? You could do. You could actually have it, and I did this, by the way. Create a business plan.
Yeah.
I'm a loan officer in Northern Virginia. I've been in the business 29 years. I want to go back to originating loans. Can you create a business plan so that I can get to 8 units a month and fund it? And
Wow.
be that specific and
Yep.
watch how it spits out. Obviously, if you're not in Northern Virginia, don't say Northern Virginia, but right, whatever area that you're in, go ahead and try that out, because once again, it's going to give you the right answers. It's just a matter of us executing those answers, right, Joe? I mean, you can come up with these great slideshows and these great ideas, but people need to be able to execute them and read them in a logical sequence.
You're absolutely right, dude. And it can. I mean, that's you hit the nail on the head. And here's just a couple ideas that ChatGPT came up with for some blog writing, right? And I asked it, I said, hey, come up. I went through this series of questions with ChatGPT. I said, I'm a loan officer in San Clemente, California. Come up with 10 different blog ideas that I can write that will attract home buyers as well as realtors and builders. And it came up with a boring list of 10. I said, no. I said, try again, make it more local with unique ideas and things that challenge conventional wisdom. And these were a couple ideas that I came up with. 10 most desirable neighborhoods in San Clemente.
Nice.
Wow, that's so cool. Hidden gems, underrated neighborhoods,
Oh,
best local events, activities. Like, it came up with some really phenomenal ideas. And then
wow.
guess what? Have it then. Those are I just asked it to write to come up with the ideas. But here's two different things that you can do with this then. Be like, call up your favorite realtor and say, hey, you want to co-write this blog with me? Here's my
Oh, wow. Wow. I hope, listen, if you didn't get one nugget so far in 38 minutes, I'm here to tell you that's a nugget right there. That's powerful. Love it.
yeah.
Love it.
Wow. Thanks, Felicia. No, but seriously, like, do that. Co-author these things, or hey, by the way, what about doing a quick video? Get your realtor into a coffee shop or into your office, or go to their office and set up a little tripod and record you guys talking about these four things, and then write the blog from that content.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And by the way, I mean, this kind of goes back to what Charlene's asking, and I think she's look. I mean, Charlene, your question, John, if you can put that up there, that's great. Where you can fraudulently create content under someone else's name. Obviously, Charlene, the answer is yes. You can do that, right? Just like locks on my house will keep out honest people, but if someone really wants to break into my house, they're going to break into my house no matter what kind of security system I have in place. It's just it is what it is. You have to be comfortable and set your own limits on what you're willing to do. So if you're writing a blog, as what Joe's talking about on this stuff, you don't want to do it in the voice of Charlene McWilliams. You're my buddy. Why would I want to steal your voice, right? I want to do it in the voice of Fabi Nagmi, because that's who I want represented. And when the realtor talks to me, they're going to see that I'm the same guy that was putting out the content. So it's authentic and it's unique to me and my fingerprints.
that's right. That's absolutely right. We can, I mean, breeze through this one. This is just another idea, is coming up with a bunch of resources for your buyers and refinancers and anybody, right? So I think about this all the time. Like, with my business, we have a bunch of different resources that we've created for people that can't, that have problems reconnecting their Facebook account to Social Coach, or how to set up a business page, a Facebook business page. We have these resources that we've created that we did before ChatGPT that would probably have ChatGPT write the first draft for me and then make it more specific for my business. But be thinking about that, right? What kind of FAQs can you provide for your borrowers? What kind of things can you do that will be helpful for them that you can just have pre-written for you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I love the moving guide, because everyone talks about credit scores and understanding loan programs, but something as unique as a moving guide, a checklist for, hey, if you're going to move,
Yeah.
these are things you're going to need at the old house, and then these are things you're going to need at the new house. And guess what? Using Joe's idea of co-branding, put the realtor's picture and contact information along with yours on that same little moving guide.
Yeah.
Now you get, that wow factor from your real estate agent, that you're including them in the collateral. And you're bringing value to the relationship rather than just saying we close loans on time.
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the more you can involve your realtor and other referral partners, the better.
Yep.
All right. So we talked a lot about different ideas. You guys get that. Now, these are the things that you need to do to make ChatGPT better. And I don't know why that bar is there in the middle. I didn't intend that.
Just to throw you off. We were seeing if you're still going to be awake for 40 minutes.
Whoops. Anywho, these are some things that you can write in your prompt that you're writing to ask ChatGPT what to say that will help it give you better results. So the first one is act as an expert. And so, if you're saying, come up with like Fabi, back to your idea, like the business plan, act as a expert, a Harvard MBA grad at a top tier consulting firm that works specifically with mortgage companies, and help me come up with a business plan that gets me from 1 to 8 units a month.
Yeah.
Right. And then that way you're training on how you want it to respond to you and the format that you want it to give to you. Right. You don't want to just because the more that you feed it, again, the more you feed it, the better it's going to get. That's the second point here, is be overly specific. You have to get very detailed with your questions. And this is where I think the difference between someone who's going to use it and someone who's going to use it really, really well. Right. And that's going to be the determining factor of the success that you have with ChatGPT, is how well you know how to ask it the questions to get the results you want. And then don't just accept the first response it gives you. Say, try again and get more specific with how you want it to change. And it's just a process of feeling out that relationship that you have with this robot, essentially. Right.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I know the first time I went on it, I was like, what the heck am I getting myself into? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
JP had kind of told me about it. I logged on. I had no idea what to expect. I think I'm not kidding you guys when I tell you this, in the first 15 minutes, I had it write a sonnet in the voice of William Shakespeare about squirrels. Right? Because I mean, that's just the way my brain thinks. Like, okay, let's have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
So have fun with it. Don't like go in there and try to solve the world's problem. You know what I mean? How do we get peace in Middle East? I don't know. Don't have fun and get relaxed with it. And the more you get comfortable, the more it becomes an extension of yourself rather than something that you're kind of like trying to steal some ideas from somebody else.
Yeah. Lisa, what's up, my friend? Long time no talk. Thanks for your comment. Yeah, I mean, it is. We all have the same exact content, and it's like it makes me literally want to vomit a little bit in my mouth when I see the same content that comes out from every originator. This is a way to set yourself apart and become more unique. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so
Joe,
good.
I think we're coming to the end here, so I know you have some QR codes for people.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys. We're obviously Fabi and I are both very socially minded. Connect with us. Here's Fabi's. Take your phone and scan these QR codes for his LinkedIn and Instagram here, and I'll give you a second to do that. And then here are mine. So the first is our social coach account. The middle one's mine. I honestly don't connect with me on Instagram, which is my middle one, unless you want dad jokes and pictures of my kids. And
you got the coolest with the splash contest. I was actually popped up. I was actually going through some of my saved files. And your kids doing the splash contest with that I can't remember Rage Against the Machine song.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just cool stuff, Joe.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun. So connect with us on there, guys. If you want, what we've done, and this we probably should have put this first because we want people to get this.
Live and learn. Come back for this session too.
Live, laugh, and learn, huh?
Yeah,
but look, if you want, we've put together a guide with all the prompts pre-written for all of the different types of content that we created, or the ideas for the content we created on this session. So go there, fill that simple form. I promise we are not going to spam you or anything. Whoops, don't do that. Just pause there. So go on there, fill out that simple form. We'll send you all of the hard work that we did to prepare for this. But we really appreciate it, guys. It's super fun.
And listen, I mean, the other thing, Joe, I mean, I don't want to let this, because Joe's he's very humble when it comes to his company, Social Coach. And I just got to tell you guys, I love Social Coach. We are a client of Social Coach, so point transparency. But if you create the content, you got to get a platform to put it out there. You know what I mean? And Joe, I've said this a million times on different shows, not only my show, but like get a platform like Social Coach. Get any platform, but Social Coach is here, right? So we're going to, you know what I mean? But you need to get a place where you can use the content you're creating, because the number one rule, and Joe, you know this, when it comes to social media, is consistency. If you're not consistent with it, it just will not work. The penetration you want to create in social media, you got to be consistent. And the best way to be consistent is to get a company like Social Coach behind you, get ChatGPT to help you create the content, and then you can be magnificent in a couple of weeks. Seriously, it doesn't take that much time.
Thanks, Fob. And I mean, just to put that out there, I mean, basically what Social Coach is we're an automation tool to help get content that you create or that we create for you out to your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, to help you stay consistent on social media, automate that posting, and stay compliant. So we work with dozens and dozens of different mortgage companies today. We want to work with you too. We're already working with Fabian. Thanks for your nice comments there. Absolutely. And honestly, though, I'm gonna promote you a little bit here, Fob. Like, if you want, I mean, look at this leadership from Fabi on this, right? I can't imagine if I were an originator today, I would want to work with somebody that's thinking outside of the box of how to help my originators grow their business. The fact, Fabi, that you put together this podcast, we worked on this together. We put a lot of time into this. It's only going to help your originators at your company grow their business. And this is the kind of guy that you want to work for. Not only is he's thinking out of the side of the box and working for you, but he's also a lot of fun too. So
you're a nice guy, Joe. I want to do a splash contest with your kids. If that's my prize, I want it.
California will make that happen, dude.
I want it, brother. So listen, guys, thank you so much. We did run a little bit over, so I apologize for that. But obviously, it's a lot to cover. We wanted to get as much as possible. There will be a second session, so please keep an eye out for that. We're going to be talking about how to get engagement from the content that you create. You want to get the people out there that are now involved. You want to create some kind of buzz around what you're doing. And so we're going to dive into that next time, Joe. Maybe sometime in March, maybe April. Yeah. But just keep an eye out for it. Love your all support. Love your all's comments. Keep coming back under this program, and we'll do our best to keep giving you some good content to go out with, right?
You know what? Connect with us on LinkedIn or Facebook. And DM us. I'm sure. I know I speak for both of us. We'll say we'll respond. We want to help you with this stuff. So reach out. We'd love to talk.
Absolutely. So JP, get us out of here, my brother.